Wanderlust King.
Welcome back, everyone, to Angels with Scaly Wings. Last episode, all hell broke loose. We met the minister of all the public relations between our two species. The whole murder case grew even bigger. I was sent home, but the portal turned out to be broken or taken apart. Parts of it were missing, so we couldn't even go back home. So now we're stuck here in this world, trying to figure out who the fuck is doing all this shit, and I don't know where we're going from here. So, do I visit the production facility, the police archives? I'm gonna visit the store. No, I shouldn't visit this. Well, should I visit this? I'm gonna visit the production facility. Hey, Furea! Lorem, right? Yep! Did you get the chance to think about what I told you last time? Don't worry, I didn't lose your number. They keep me pretty busy, so I don't really have much free time. Well, if anything changes, give me a call. I will. Gotta go now, so take care. You too. This should be the right place. Can I help you? Hello, you are Anna's assistant, right? Assistant, you must be joking. First off, I was never anyone's assistant. Secondly, the witch is dead, so even if I was, I would have moved up the corporate ladder by now. But you're Damien, aren't you? Yes, where I come from, people usually introduce themselves before they start asking questions, though. You don't know who I am? Of course I know who you are, but that doesn't mean you don't need to learn some manners. Anyway, what do you want? Can I ask a few questions? What about Anna's murder? God damn it. I don't know, there's like a nervous twitch in like the right side of my hand that clicks the right mouse key. Or fucking button. And who are you to go around asking questions like that? I'm working with the police on this matter. And I'm supposed to believe that? For all I know, you could be with the murderer and are just here to find out if I know something that could implicate you. Well, according to my information, you don't particularly like the victim. Not only were you the last person to see her alive, but you were also the one who found her. As you may imagine, this warrants some questions. You know what? I don't have to listen to this. I don't know who you think you are barging into my workplace and barking questions, but if you really are with the police, let them know that I won't say one more word on the matter without a lawyer. I wondered if Damien was a suspicious person in general, or if the rumors surrounding Reza were affecting the perception of me. Before this, everyone I had talked to during my investigations had been rather cooperative. Before deciding my next move, I returned to my apartment for a moment of rest. A small piece of paper had been slipped under my door while I was gone. Don't go to the portal, was all it said. Someone clearly didn't want me to go to the portal, but why would I go there in the first place? As it was out of order right now, such an action would serve no purpose. I looked outside the window at the portal's faint silhouette in the distance. The paper rustled between my fingers as I fidgeted with it, wondering about the message sender's significance. My train of thought was violently interrupted by a sharp burst of gunfire echoing from the portal. If this was an attempt to flee back to the human world, he would receive a rather unpleasant surprise the moment he would try to use the portal. Or maybe Sebastian's theory is correct. Could Reza held the part needed to repair the portal, in which case his escape could be imminent? The gunshots themselves were another question. Was someone trying to stop him? The police patrol may have seen him and may have taken him by surprise. This could be another murder in progress. But all his murders were committed with a sharp weapon before now, not a gun. He didn't want to be heard. Besides, it was only early evening and the town was still bustling. If Reza wanted to stay hidden, he was doing a rather poor job at it. Of course, there was also a possibility that he wanted to be heard, but who would he want to attract? The police maverick could easily be a trap for those hunting him. And that technically would include me, though I wasn't sure if he knew of my involvement in the investigation. It was also a very real possibility he knew my apartment was close enough to the portal to hear the gunshot. Could it be a signal for me? Regardless, the words I held in my hands were unmistakable. Don't go to the portal. What should I do? Call the police. That's the right thing to do in this situation. I'm gonna go to the portal. The path I took was a familiar one now. Even with night falling, it was easy for me to find my way around. Long, grotesque shadows stretched before me, and the atmosphere was eerie and dangerous. I couldn't tell if it was because of the evening's shroud of darkness or if the urgent situation tugging at my mind had twisted my perception. I made it past the village border and pressed on. There was still a fair distance to go. Suddenly, gloved hands grabbed me from behind, clamping over my mouth. I couldn't make a sound. From what I could see, it was the same hooded figure I met in the maintenance room after the second murder. It's too late. Maverick arrived before you did, and he'll make sure that no one uses the portal today. Don't follow me. I figured it was a time to go back to the police department anyway. I tried to go to the portal! There you are, Furea. Seems you've taken a liking to the Bryce's chair. Maybe. I could get used to this. Don't tell Bryce, though. By the way, we have evidence that Reza visited the portal today. Someone reported loud bangs consistent with what we know about his weapon. We didn't manage to catch him, but I wonder if this stunt means he's getting desperate. Who knows? Now, let's take a look at what you've got for me. This isn't much information to go on, but who knows when it can come in handy. I do what I can. I know. Your help is greatly appreciated, believe me. Especially since we're so short on staff right now. That'll be all for today. I'll contact you if we need anything. Of course. See you next time. See ya. Finally, a free day. What should I do? Looks like there's some messages on the answering machine. Let's see. Congratulations! You, Furea, have been invited to an exclusive event featuring the world-famous stunt pilot Adine! Watch her perform behind closed doors and be one of the first to see her newest routine. Sure to win this year's stunt flying competition. Afterwards, you'll be allowed backstage for a short meet and greet with the talent herself. Don't expect any autographs, though. What an opportunity. I'm gonna meet with Adine. I like Adine. She's pretty cool. Fucking chill as hell. Gonna eat some of my stir fry. Here we are again. It's always such a pleasure. Remember when you tried to kill me twice? Anyway. Just a minute! hope I didn't forget anything. You said something about going to the beach? Yep. You know, I'm glad they decided not to send you away after all. Me too. Oh, I guess who got her entry confirmation for the stunt flying competition? Is it me? Don't be silly, Furea. I've got it right here in black and white. We are happy to confirm your entry into the annual stunt flying competition. Please have your competitor number ready to show up at the organizator's booth at the summer festival by... Well, who cares about the rest? I'm in! That's great. Yeah, but the festival's pretty soon. I have to make the most of the time until then to get my skills up to par. I thought you already had years of experience. Yeah, but now I have to practice the best routine I can possibly come up with, not to mention making sure I can execute it flawlessly when the time comes. Practicing in general is very different than practicing for an event like this one. I see. Are you ready to see some stunt flying? Sure. Let's go then. So this is where you usually practice. I practice just about anywhere, but today's a nice day for a beach visit. Water and sand are also good surfaces to practice complicated maneuvers on, in case you can't make the landing. Makes sense. Well, don't let me hold you up. Oh, I can't just start practicing right now. I'm still giddy with excitement from getting the letter earlier. Besides, I wanted to hang out with you while we're here as well. Sounds good to me. Do you visit the beach often? Not really, except for practice, that is. It does make for a nice backdrop while I fly, though. I see. Do you ever go to the beach? No, it's not something that was possible for me the last couple of years, but it certainly used to be something other people would do. I see. Sunning yourself can be nice sometimes, but I'm not really a fan of going swimming. There's so much more you can do at the beach, though. Like what? You already mentioned sunning. Do you ever get a tan? What's that? I guess that's a no then. To be fair, you are completely covered in scales, so I imagine you wouldn't be affected. Tanning is a reaction of the skin when it's exposed to sunlight. If humans stay in the sun for a while, our skin can get darker. How strange. And if we're exposed for too long, we can even get what's called a sunburn. And what's that? The skin can take on a reddish tint, and it can also be painful and cause dizziness. So you have to be careful not to stay in the sun for too long? Pretty much, though that isn't necessarily true for all of us. Depending on the skin tone, people can be more or less affected by the radiation. I see. That sounds kind of complicated. Does that mean we shouldn't stay here for too long? I'll just have to be careful. I see. Just let me know if I need to do anything. Sure, will do. You said you don't like swimming all that much. Why is that? Well, as you can imagine, I prefer the air to the sea, even though we flyers have quite a relationship with the water. What kind of relationship are we talking about? We use it to hunt. I see, so you go fishing, but can't swim all that well. Pretty much. We can do enough to safely hunt and paddle on the surface, but that's about it. If we actually want to go swimming, it's recommended we wear a life vest. Is it that bad? Our wings are made for flying, not swimming. The movements and musculature are rather different. With some training we can learn to swim better, but still, it wouldn't really be effective. I see. And besides, who would choose to learn to swim if we already had the air to ourselves? Flying is just your thing, I guess. Pretty much. You made it sound as if beaches are a pretty important thing for humans. I wouldn't say important, rather. It's a unique way for people to spend time. It was often done as a leisurely activity or a way to spend holiday vacations. That sounds pretty important to me. What else do you do at the beach? Let me think. I got an idea and started looking around for something in the sand on the ground. With a bit of digging, I found a flat, smooth stone and showed it to her. Do you have any idea what I'm going to do with this? Not really. Let me show you something. I went to the edge of the water, followed closely by Adine. Now watch this. I extended my arm with the best technique I could muster before I threw the stone toward the water. Spinning in the air, the stone bounced on the water surface a few times before it sunk into the sea. What was that? Stone skipping. Never heard of it? No, how'd you do that? I can show you. I looked around for another suitable stone and soon found another one near the edge of the water. Let's start with this stone. Ideally, we want one that has a big surface area but is as flat as possible. Got it. This one is also really smooth, which helps too. Okay, so we need smooth, flat stones. Now the technique is also really important. I'm not sure how well this will translate to your anatomy, but I'll show you how I do it and we can figure out what you can do. Okay. Hold the stone like this, extend your arm, curl it like this, then you have to throw it in such a way it stays relatively stable in air but spins as fast as you can make it. I do it like this. Threw the stone once again, showing her how it subsequently bounced a few times over the water surface before it sunk into the sea. I'm not sure if I can do that. We'll see, maybe we can figure something out. Let's look for a stone first. Okay. Both started looking for another appropriate stone. I saw Adine scratching around the sand with one of her feet. She crouched down and picked something up before she returned to me. Here, how about this one? That should work. See, you've already got that part down. Guess so! Okay, now for the technique. She was holding the stone claws at the edge of her wing. I tried to guide her by pulling the wing back like I one arm, but it became clear to me that it lacked a lot of maneuverability an arm would have. For the throw, you want to move your wing forward as fast as you can. At the very end of the extension, let go of the stone. I'll try. I could see her moving her wing awkwardly. She pushed it forward before releasing the stone, which sunk without bouncing a single time. That didn't work. Yeah, there wasn't really enough spin on it. Let me try again. Alright. I waited a few steps in the water to retrieve the stone she'd thrown only moments ago. Here you go. I'll try something different this time. Feel free. Instead of using her wing, she took the stone into the dexterous claws on one of her feet as she continued to stand on the other leg. Effortlessly, she pulled her leg back before rapidly moving forward and releasing the stone. It flew a bit of an upward arc before it bounced off the water surface and subsequently sunk into the ocean's waters. Nice! Not bad, huh? I had no idea you could do that with your leg. Actually, our legs are what we mainly use to grab things. It only gets complicated if I'm supposed to be moving at the same time, like when I'm waiting in the cafe. Interesting. I suppose for someone who's hunting while flying, that's pretty much a requirement. It is. Actually, if I'm at home eating chips or something, I usually use my feet as well. I wish I could do that with my feet. Oh, really? Yeah. Some monkeys actually can. They basically have hands instead of feet. So they have 4 hands? Yep. That seems like it'd come in handy, but I'd like my wings better. That was a neat trick, though. What else can you do at the beach? I don't know, build sandcastles? I haven't done that in like 2 decades. I tried to imagine what Adine building a sandcastle would look like. Based on what I knew now, she probably wouldn't be using her wings. Would you believe me if I told you we used to have contests for building sandcastles back home? Really? Yeah, people would build huge, detailed sculptures that would be taller than the both of us with just sand. Oh wow, that sounds hard though. You can try it if you like. I'm not sure I have the patience for that. To me, it seems a bit of a shame to build big, elaborate sculptures out of something like sand that clearly won't last. I mean, if you're going to spend so much time on it, why not create something that will stay? It's actually the point of these contests. Oh, really? Yeah, people can demonstrate their skills in creating sculptures, and by using something like sand, they prove that it doesn't matter if the sculpture gets destroyed in the end, because they can just do it again if they like. I see, that's pretty interesting. Actually, it's not unlike your stunt flying competition. How so? Well, during a competition, nothing lasting is created from the performance itself. It's all about the experience and memories. You have to prove that you are skilled enough to do those stunts right at the very moment just for the competition. That's a good point. I'm in the mood for a snack. Should I get something for you as well? Yes, please. Alright. You can watch me if you like. Maybe you can learn a thing or two from it. You want to teach me how to fish? Sure, since you taught me the... What was it called again? Stone skipping? Right, since you taught me the stone skipping, I can show you how to fish. Okay. We actually have two very different ways of doing it. There's hunting and angling. Personally, I prefer hunting now. I can see why. Let me demonstrate. She took a few steps back and started running towards the edge of the sea. Rapidly flapping her wings, she jumped into the air at the last second, taking off and flying around the sea. I could see her staring at the sea intently, circling a few times before descending toward the water surface, claws extended. When she got close enough, her claws suddenly sank into the water, only to reappear with a fish in their grasp. Afterwards, she returned and landed near me. Did you see that? Yeah, but I think my distinct lack of wings would probably prevent me from doing the same thing. You don't have to do exactly the same thing. In the end, I'm just grabbing them right out of the sea. You can do that. I'm not so sure about that. I bet it's a lot easier with your claws. Fish can be pretty slippery. I guess you have a point. Well, there's still the other method. Angling. Yep, angling. See my tail? She showed me her tail. At its end, there was a fork in it. With its distinct shape, size, and color, it reminded me a lot of a banana. What about it? This is the bait. She sat down near the edge of the water, letting her tail hang down into it. This can take a while sometimes, but there are techniques which can speed up the process. The right amount of movement attracts different kind of fish. That way we can even choose what we're gonna get. That works? Yeah, not all the time, but often enough. Interesting. There are even groups that exchange tips such for angling this way. Suddenly I saw her tail whip upwards, which caused the fish to be launched toward the beach where it landed on the ground with an audible thud. There you go! That didn't take too long. It can be very hit and miss. I just got lucky this time. It's not even the kind of fish I really wanted. I guess that's why you prefer hunting. Yep, and you also don't get the nibble scars on your tail where the fish bite you. I see. Though I suppose angling is also going to be hard for you without a forked tail like we have. Actually, we have fishing rods for that where I came from. What's that? The principle is very similar. Basically, it's a long stick we hold over the water. A line connected to it has bait and hook at the end to catch the fish. When the fish bites the hook, we can reel in the line to get the fish for us. So you are using a tool to do a very similar thing. Basically, yes. Sometimes we also fish using nets. Oh, some of us do that as well. Not my kind, but it's usually those who either work for a fishing company or sell seafood on the market. I imagine someone like you doesn't have to buy their fish on the market, though. True, but sometimes it's easier to get them there to get what I want to. It's get them there to get what I want to instead of coming all the way here. I see. Speaking of which, let me get a few more for later. Feel free. Once more, Adine took to the sky to hunt for fish. While it was interesting to watch her for a bit, she kept hunting for a while. I started passing the time by collecting some seashells. Phew, and that should last me for a while. Oh, what are those? Seashells? They're for you. For me? What for? Well, you can decorate your apartment with them or something. I see. Maybe I should ask you to clarify this, but does this have any particular significance for humans? Not really, it's just a gift. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Furea. All that hunting was a good warm-up. I feel ready to start with the practice now. Go ahead, I'll watch from here. Actually, now that I'll be a part of an official competition, I need a fancy stage name. Do you have something in mind? Not really. Have you got any ideas? Angel. No. I like Neo Wing. Lightning's pretty good. Free fall? No one likes free fall. Stormhawk is very common for stuff like this. I like Neo-Wing. Neo-Wing? That sounds gracious and acrobatic. I like it. Do you mind if I go with that? Not at all. I guess I'll be Neo-Wing from now on then. Alright, are you ready to see some aerobatics? I certainly hope so. I'll start off with a few easy moves. The stage is yours, Neo-Wing. Thanks! Effortlessly, she took to the skies, circling around the area a few times before she started to do a few maneuvers. A roll followed by a loop, after which she did another roll. It seemed to be less of a practice routine and more of a warm-up to me. Gradually, her maneuvers got more complicated. I saw circles that got smaller and smaller, a brief nosedive, multiple loops and rolls, one out run right after. I rolled fucking back, I guess. God. I need to learn how to use a mouse, people. Then she landed and returned to me. What do you think? That was great. You haven't seen the best part yet. What would that be? My very own Adine special, or rather, Neo-Wing special. It's a routine I came up with and have been practicing for a while. It's pretty difficult, so I'll probably spend the rest of my time until the competition perfecting it as much as possible. What does it look like? It starts off with circles near the ground, then as I ascend, the circles get smaller and smaller. Once I reach the highest point, I go into a nosedive through the middle of the circles. At the show, I'll actually use a smoke trail when doing the circles so everyone can actually see me going through the circles I made. That sounds pretty cool. That's not all of it. While nosediving, I'll do a few rolls, and just before I hit the ground, I'll pull up again. Lastly, I'll end with a few loops and go to the next maneuver. It all ends up making a shape in the sky with smoke trails. Sounds like you've got it figured out already. Yeah, now I only have to perfect my execution of it. Don't let me hold you up. Alright, here we go. With determination in her eyes, she took to the skies once more, and when she reached a certain height, she slowly descended again until she was close to the water surface. Then she started making her circles, slowly ascending as the circles gradually got smaller and smaller. Once her circles became small as possible, she suddenly turned herself around and went into a nosedive. Her speed quickly increased when she moved down toward the water. Then she did a roll, and another, followed by a third. Dangerously close to the water surface, she suddenly pulled up, but as she did so, one of her feet went below the surface, where it apparently caught onto something, causing her to spin out of control. I saw her feeble attempt to regain control. She barely managed to steady herself low enough to get back to the beach. She made a rough landing, rolling on the ground a few times after colliding with the sand. Adine, are you alright? Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. It looked pretty impressive until the landing. Ouch, my wing hurts. Let me take a look. Can you move it? A bit, but it really starts to hurt if I go further than this. At least it doesn't seem to be broken. Yeah, I guess it's a sprain. Happens all the time. Really? Well, not all the time, but it happens. What about the competition? The injury is going to put a serious damper on my practice schedule, but I'm not giving up anytime soon. I guess practice is over for today at the very least. Yeah, let's head back. I should have some bandages in the cabinet over there. I'll get them for you. What now? Would you do me the honors? Of course. Where should I start? I think this joint right here. Yep, definitely. Okay, let me try to get this right. Here, that should do it. How does it feel? Much better. Maybe with this I can even start practicing again in a day or two. Just be safe. Of course. Well, thanks for the help with the bandage, and sorry about cutting practice short today. I guess you didn't get to see any proper aerobatics after all. It's no big deal. Your health is more important. Are you going to come to the show? If I can, sure. Oh, right. You might be busy. I'll have to see if I can make it. I'd love to be at the show, though. I'll contact you later with all the details, and we can figure it out from there. Sounds good. I'll see you next time, then. See ya. Well, damn. I guess we're gonna call that an episode here, boys and girls. If you liked this video, give it a like or thumbs up, whatever you wish to call it. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Angels with Scaly Wings. See you then.